Hi, welcome back to Shotoku Tech. In the previous video, we got to check out flashing Meshtastic on the WIO Tracker 1110 from Seed Studio. We took it out, checked GPS coordinates, sent private messages and messages to the long, fast network here in Tucson. Yeah, and down here on the Getting Started page, there's actually a link to a step file that you can 3D print the case for the WIO Tracker 1110. Yeah, right there. Enclosure file, 3D print. Okay. Yeah, and it's a step file. I've never really worked with step files before. I can work with it in Autodesk Fusion 360, and I thought that by selecting individual parts and exporting that I would get that individual part. Somebody can leave a comment down below and tell me how to do that, because it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. I basically got everything you saw there each time I exported, regardless of what I had selected. We'll see how that works out in a minute here. Yeah, I'm going to try selecting that. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I went into Tinkercad and I imported it. Yeah, you see here, these are the individual objects, and you can download each of them as a STL. So the STLs that I exported, though, you see over here, let's look at the file size. Yeah, they're all the same size exactly. And so if you were to bring any one of them in, yeah, that's not how you do it, bro. You got to use import STL. Yeah, so over here, import, choose a file. I guess I can drop one here. Yeah, I dropped it. It takes a long time. I cut a few seconds out of this video. Yeah, make sure to set the appropriate units. And it's in millimeters. And you see it just comes through in one big piece, even the little buttons part of it all there. And it's got this weird little cone floating at the top next to the button. That's funny. So, how did I get the individual parts as STLs? Well, I essentially just blocked off everything else and grouped it. So you see here, to get the back, I had to block off the button, that one case, and the other case front. So there's one case front without an antenna hole and one case front with an antenna hole. And then I did the same thing for the case front with the antenna hole, and the same thing to just get the buttons. Yeah, look for the link down below to my Thingiverse page. You'll get the individual STLs there if you like. I don't know, I'm not a CAD guy, you know. I just want my STLs. Okay, so I want to assemble this case now. The original cables that come with the WIO 1110 kit are a little long, so I'm going to use some shorter Grove cables. I'm just going to use this 1000 mAh a Lipo battery because it's got the 2mm pitch plug, and I don't have a bigger one. But you can see the back of that case. You could probably fit a 2000 or 3000 mAh battery in there. I'd be surprised if you couldn't. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is assemble this antenna. Yeah, I have a Heltec 1 dBi antenna from one of my Heltec V3s. We'll just go ahead and use that. That's not included with the WIO 1110. I was debating putting the 175mm antenna on here, but I just wanted to get the little stubby antenna for the moment. I like getting the pliers and really making sure that's tight, because I hate when you want to change out the antenna, you wind up loosening the mount itself and it spins freely inside the case. Then you have to take the case apart, so on and so on. Okay, so I've attached the antenna connector to the WIO 1110. Now this is where we're going to install the display. And there's little tiny screw holes there. They're not full screw holes, but if you wedge it in there and get the screws in there, then it actually stays in place quite well. Yeah, look for the link down below. I got this cool little small screw kit. I couldn't have done this video without these smaller screws. Would have had to go to Ace Hardware or something and go, do you have a screw this small? Yeah, you see, it locked it right in there. Get these other two screws and this thing's going to be solid. I think these are 1.5 or 1.6mm screws. I thought I showed that in the video here, but maybe I cropped that out. Okay, so we got the display in there. Make sure to get the buttons in the case. You don't want to have to take it all apart just to put the buttons back in. I used an emery board to kind of smooth out the sides of the buttons. One of them was kind of sticky. You don't want like the reset button to get stuck on reset, you know, so we got that worked out. Now I want to fold this wire over hard so that we can get the board into place. That board has to fit right up here with the USB-C port right there at the edge, like that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the battery, because when you put that board in the case, the battery plug is in the case. I wish that weren't the case. I wish you could unplug the battery just by taking the back off, but you got to be careful putting this GPS board in here. Make sure not to short it against the other display board or the WIO 1110 board. And then there's a little pocket there to drop the GPS antenna right next to the LoRa antenna there. Okay, it's starting to come together here. Yeah, whoa. It's staying there in position all by itself, actually. You can see I left one of the buttons out somehow. Uh-oh. Yeah, this video is heavily edited here. I edited out all the swear words and stuff. I'm kidding. Yeah, you can imagine my surprise when I got it all buttoned up and look and go, oh, there's the button. Okay. Yeah, it was behind the case. I couldn't see it from my point of view. Now these are 2.5 millimeter screws. They're like 4 millimeters long, 5 millimeters long. Yeah, it's a cool little screw kit. Pretty happy with it. Again, look for all the links down below. You get 4 of these 2.5 millimeter screws in there. Yeah, like I say, there's plenty of room for a bigger battery. That's just the one I have on the shelf. You could probably get a good 2K or 3K mAh battery in there. I'm going to need a different camera mount. Okay, we're almost done. Yeah, get that GPS antenna in there, and that wire, you're going to have to fold that over a little bit. Make sure that cable's tucked in there. And we're ready to close up the case. Now you might notice, I don't know if it'll show up in this video or not, the antenna was kind of cocked to the back somehow. And when I looked at the case closer, it looked like my 3D printer slipped or something, and like part of the case is offset just slightly. Okay, so I just hit the reset button. There's the Meshtastic logo. Hey, great. We're on our way. So there's the USB-C port. You also have access to these 3 analog ports. So look for the links down below. Make sure to check out Flashing Meshtastic on the WIO Tracker 1110 if you haven't already. Good practical video. And of course the product page is down below. And also the Getting Started Wiki page is down below in the comment section. Of course, you can give this video a like, leave a comment down below, and before you watch more of my Meshtastic playlist, and I even have a playlist for the WIO 1110 dev board, so please check those out and click on subscribe. Thank you very much.